Hi guys, welcome back to Dave's Reviews. Today I'm reviewing the latest novella by Stephen King. He wrote it with Richard Chizmar. It's called Gwendy's Button Box. Now I actually listened to this on audiobook. It's read by Maggie Siff. She played probably most recognizable for the character Tara on Sons of Anarchy. The story takes place in Castle Rock, Maine in the summer of 1974. The story follows Gwendy Peterson. She's a young girl just getting ready to go into middle school, and up until that point she's been relatively chubby, and she's been poked at by her classmates for being overweight. They had bad names for her, and so she spent the summer running up and down what's called the suicide stairs. It's a set of stairs that zigzags up a cliffside, and it's kind of rickety. It's still held solidly with iron bolts, but it's kind of dangerous. But she takes to it, running up and down every day during the summer to lose weight. It's called the suicide stairs because a couple times in the past people have leapt from it to their deaths. But Gwendy Peterson, she takes to it to lose weight, to get ready. She wants to shed her childhood nickname and go into middle school sort of as a brand new person. And so come one day, she's running up the stairs, and when she gets to the top, there's a man, and he's sitting on a bench, and he's wearing black jeans, a black coat, a tiny black hat, and he says to her, "Hey girl, come over here for a bit. We ought to palaver, you and me." And she's hesitant because he's a stranger, and so she's standoffish. She's talking to him while he's sitting down. She's standing over a little bit away, and they're sitting there and they're talking back and forth, and he gives her his name. And in true King fashion, I'm not going to, reveal his name, but his initials are RF, which we see a lot in Stephen King's books. And anyways, he sort of lures her, makes her a little bit feel comfortable, to the point where she finally sits down next to him, and they sit there and they talk, and he explains that he knows all about her. It's almost like he's been watching her life since she was born, and even though she's uneasy with it, she still sits there, and he eventually winds up giving her this box. And it's a button box. There's buttons all over the box, and they're colorful, and each button does something, and it's not really explained at that moment what the buttons do, but it intrigues her. And so he tells her to press the one button. She presses one button, and out comes this little tiny chocolate animal. It's meticulously carved and crafted, and he says, "Taste it." She puts it in her mouth, and it's like the most wondrous chocolate she's ever had in her life, and it instantly makes her forget about eating snacks or wanting to eat snacks or wanting second helpings, and it starts making this change in her life, a positive change in her life. And so that's very enticing for her, and so she takes this button box, and it also dispensed at the same time it also dispensed a silver coin, and it's a very antique silver coin that's never been circulated, and it's worth hundreds if not thousands of dollars. And so they part ways. Her with her button box. With the button box and now in her possession, her life is sort of turned around almost overnight. Everything is coming up roses for her. She's losing weight. She's becoming popular. She's winning awards, and she's joining the track team, and everything she wants is hers. And all the while, she's eating the little chocolate candies, and she's getting the silver coins, and the life is, like I said, she's walking on cloud nine. Everything she wants is hers. But nothing, you don't get something for nothing, and there is a catch to this button box. And that's where the story that's where the story gets interesting, and that's where the story takes you. And I'm not going to ruin it, but I will say that Gwendy's Button Box was a very enjoyable read. I really liked it. It was only 2 hours and 42 minutes long when you listen to it on audiobook. Yeah, and it's very enjoyable. Maggie Siff does a really outstanding job reading this story. It also includes a bonus story, The Music Room. This was originally published for free by Stephen King on his website, stephenking.com. That's an enjoyable little macabre story. And that is followed by sort of an interview between Stephen King, or not even an interview, sort of a conversation between Stephen King and Richard Chizmar. And in that sort of conversation, you hear Stephen King explain he started Gwendy's Button Box, and he didn't know how to finish it. He sort of it came up blank for him, and so he sent it to Richard Chizmar, who he worked on it, and he came up with the ending for it. And yeah, so they worked together, and it turned out a nice little piece. So like I said, I really enjoyed Gwendy's Button Box. I give it, let's do 4 stars out of 5. So I do recommend it. It's available in audiobook. It's also available to read on the Kindle, and it's also released in hardcover. And yeah, so if you're looking for a short story that you want to get your mind off of this terrible world we live in right now, and you can never go wrong with Stephen King. I've never read anything by Richard Chizmar, but after this, I'm definitely going to. I know that he has a series, or he has a book of short stories called A Long December. It was an award winner, so I'm going to check that out eventually. Yeah, so that's my review for today. Please stop back again for another review. And if you like this video, I appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up button down below. And if you want to keep track of my reviews, why not subscribe? So there you go. I'll see you again.